Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. This short presentation is again about quiz number 3. This quiz will be of marks 10 and the weightage of the quiz will most probably be 10. But final weightage will be decided and I will tell it to you later. But you should attempt this quiz keeping in mind the total marks of 10. This quiz is from the topic conflict, negotiation and stress management. I have just delivered you the lecture on this topic. Due to some internet problem, half of this session was live and the rest of the session I sent you in recorded form. So you should go through all 3 sessions of this quiz, which are available on YouTube. I have also sent you links of these lectures on your relevant WhatsApp groups. So all the questions of this quiz is from this lecture on conflict, negotiation and stress management. Now let's briefly discuss that how you should attempt this quiz. The first thing is you'll have to go through the lectures carefully. Now because we are taking the online classes and there's rare face-to-face, communication. So you just note down important points from the lecture, and now this noting down of the point lecture is very important because I will give preference to all of the discussions which have been included in this lecture, all the comments in this lecture. So the main point is you should have listened to the lecture carefully. You should note down important points, and along with these arguments and points discussed in the lecture, you can also include a little part of your own thoughts about the topic. But the major portion should be the same comments which have been discussed in the lecture. I have increased the due date and time for this quiz. Basically, you should have submitted it immediately within 1 hour after the lecture. But again, due to some internet problems, some students are operating from the remote areas, so they requested me to increase the submission time. So I have increased this time. You can submit it up to tomorrow, that is 22nd December, up to 10 p.m. This is the last and final time. I will not change this due time to, so please try to submit it within the due date. This is again the open book quiz. You can most importantly you will have to listen to the lectures carefully, but again you can go through the slides and you can go through some other material within the limit time. But again, I will give the preference to all the arguments, all the discussions which we have been made in this during this lecture. And you should submit it on Moalem. There are 3 important questions in this quiz. The first question is about the conditions and assumptions under which the conflict may be advantageous and beneficial to a group or organization. Now, throughout the lecture, I haven't discussed about the different assumptions and conditions about the conflict. There are the different situations which we have discussed in this lecture, that at what conditions a conflict may be beneficial for the organizations. So you should pick up important points relating to these conditions and assumptions under which the conflict may be a good thing for the organization. It may be beneficial for the organization or any group or any team. So throughout the lecture, whatever conditions, what are assumptions we have discussed, you should include it. Then after that, you can also include your own viewpoints, or you can take little help also from internet. But the main content should be the same which have been discussed throughout this lecture. The second question is about the various strategies and approaches which we have discussed in ADR continuum. So just give the abbreviation of ADR continuum in the start of this answer to this question, and then discuss the different strategies which we have discussed in the literature. So you can give the heading and you can briefly discuss it within 2 to 3 lines. Don't be so lengthy in giving the answers. So just briefly discuss the different strategies and the different approaches which we have discussed about ADR, about the conflict resolution techniques. Question number 3 is about the different organizational factors which may lead to the stress. So just list down the different factors. If you want to explain it very briefly, you can explain it in one line or 2 line, and then you should give the different strategies that how these organizations can manage these sources of stress. Again, you should be brief again in explaining the strategies that how we can or the organization can manage the stress. So class, this is all about the quiz number 2. So be regularly listen to the lectures, note down the points and answer to this quiz within the due time. I think this is the last quiz, or I will try to have 1 or 2 more quizzes. So in the final stage, I will try to select the best quizzes. So if anyone has missed any quiz, or there are no he or she hadn't put marks in one quiz, that can be compensated in this way, that I can select the best quizzes, so your grade may not be very much affected. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.